The Houston Texans have got to take care of their D word this year. What is that D word? It's depth. We've talked about it before. There's 22 starters, 24 if you count the slot corner and slot wide receiver position, and a few more if you count the special teams guys. But there's only a handful of starters. The rest of the roster is made up of backups, and backups play. Think about how many times backups played for the Texans last year, how tough it was watching some of those backups play instead of the starters as well. It wasn't always easy, but the backups are important. It was a key emphasis for DeMeco Ryans this offseason to improve the depth of the Houston Texans. Well, let's talk about some of those depth pieces, but I'm not going to decide who we talk about. You're not going to decide who we talk about. We let fate decide who we're going to talk about here. It's the good old wheel of names. We'll spin the wheel and see where it lands, see what it lands on, and then we'll talk about that very player. Looks like this one's going to be Dameon Pierce. Look, Pierce has got to play much better to not only make the team, but to be a useful player for this Texans team. He was not very good at all in running the football last year. Part of it was the system just didn't click for him. The other part of it was Dameon Pierce just didn't play as good as he did as a rookie, even with the ball in his hands. He didn't run through people like he did his rookie year. Remember the Angry Run Championship or Scepter or award or whatever it was that he won? And there weren't very many angry runs by Dameon Pierce in 2023 like there were in 2022. Hesitancy and overthinking led to a rough season for Dameon Pierce. He ranked in the 40s in pretty much every rushing stat: yards per carry, expected yards per carry, average, all these various stats, including Pro Football Focus's rushing ranking. He ranked in the 40s. That's not good enough for Dameon Pierce. He has got to play much better for this team. And DeMeco Ryans has talked about him potentially being the two in the 1-2 punch that is Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce. But how does he get there? Well, he's got to click with the system and having an off season, just settling down, relaxing, being healthy, hopefully heading into training camp when it gets started in mid-late July. Dameon Pierce can really kind of ease into this offense. Bobby Slowick can coach him up a little bit more. There's not a ton of pressure on Pierce that he's got to be this dynamic face of the offense like he kind of was in 2022 and was maybe expected to be in 2023. There's none of that for Dameon Pierce. Ease into things. There's not a tremendous amount of competition for Dameon Pierce. The Texans did not go out there and add in a whole bunch of running back options that can for sure take Dameon Pierce's spot on this team. Did they add some players? Absolutely. They got some rookies like Jawar Jordan and British Books on this team that can push Dameon Pierce. And Dare Ogunbowale is here, though he's a little bit more of a special teams player, a third down back. But Pierce is not going to be pushed by a tremendous amount of people. The job is his to win. And if he wins the job and gets closer to 2022 Dameon Pierce and further away from 2023 Dameon Pierce, that's a really solid backup running back for the Texans and something that they can certainly operate with in 2024 and be okay. Long term, you probably still need some help there in the running back room, but you could be okay with a version of Dameon Pierce in 2024. He's just got to be much better than last year's Dameon Pierce. So Pierce is the first in the backup wheel that gets spun. Let's see what else the wheel can give us. If you watched this video earlier this week, we talked about some linebackers, and we're going to talk about another linebacker right here, Del'Shawn Phillips. Now, not a ton to tell you about Del'Shawn Phillips. He previously played for the Baltimore Ravens, and he primarily has been a special teams guy. He was brought over as a free agent, and there's no significant financial commitment that you feel like, oh my God, the Texans have got to keep Del'Shawn Phillips on this team. I mean, he's a fine player. The Texans signed him to a deal that could be worth over $2.5 million, but all they spent was, let's see, $750,000 in a signing bonus. So maybe he's here for sure because of some guaranteed money associated with it, but the Texans, with some of the money that they have to spend and the options that they have at the linebacker spot, they might be able to bid farewell to Phillips, even though they gave him a little bit of money from this past offseason. Again, he's a special teams forward player. He did not play a ton on the field for the Ravens. The few times he did get on the field for the Ravens, his coverage snaps were actually pretty good, but he primarily played on special teams, and he is a special teams guy for this team. Is he going to make the team as a linebacker? We'll find out more as we watch some of these special teams things happen in 2024's preseason, which is one game longer for the Houston Texans. Let's spin the wheel again. Find us another name here as we go through some of these key backups for the Houston Texans. This one is a unique name, Marcus Harris. He is an extremely productive rookie defensive tackle from Auburn. The Texans drafted Harris late in the draft and were able to pick him up when most people thought he was going to be off the board. Harris led the Auburn Tigers in sacks last year. He wears number 59, which is unique for defensive tackles around these parts. Of course, we all know 59 as DeMeco Ryans' number for the Houston Texans. But Harris is a guy that has an opportunity to make this team as a rotational depth piece along the defensive line. I don't know that he's going to start. I just don't know that the size is there right now. But anybody who's aggressive, physical, and can rush the passer from the defensive tackle spot, they're going to have a chance. They're going to have an opportunity to go in there and find themselves with an opportunity to make this roster at the defensive tackle spot. It's a crowded room. There's a lot of different options. We'll probably have another couple of these names pop up here as we do this experiment. And Harris has a chance to make it as a rookie. And if he doesn't make it as a rookie, he's certainly a candidate for the practice squad. There's a little something there with that pass rush prowess, and I'll be interested to see if the Texans can get that out of him. If you need to get more out of your air conditioner, my friends at Platinum AC and Heating can help you out. Did you know your AC needs to get tuned up every so often so it doesn't work as hard and it blows cooler air? Imagine if you got cooler air in your home and your AC didn't work as hard and it saved you a couple bucks. Wouldn't you love that? Platinum AC and Heating can do that with the tune-up for your air conditioner. If you need repairs or replacements, they can do that too, and they do it with the best prices and the best service in town. Dwyane wants to make sure you have the best climate in your home, apartment, condo, whatever you own, business. He can take care of it and make sure that you are set up and cool this summer when it's getting hot in Houston, and it won't cost you cold, hard cash because they got the best prices in town. Give my guy Dwyane at Platinum AC and Heating a call today. 832-777-3683. 832-777-3683 is the number. Put it in your phone. Don't spin a wheel trying to find out who helps out your AC. You call Dwyane at Platinum AC and Heating. We are going to spin the wheel again, though, and find us another backup player to talk about for the Houston Texans. Let's see what the wheel lands on here. Now, this is a name you probably don't know. This is a name that you probably haven't heard of, and I don't blame you. McTelvin Agim is a player that Nick Caserio brought up without any sort of prodding to bring the player up. Agim is a former mid-round pick from the 2020 NFL draft, so the COVID NFL draft. He's from Texarkana, Texas, not the Arkansas side, and he's played for the Broncos, most recently the Colts, and now he's on the Texans. They added him at the end of the season as a future roster contract, however you future deal, I think is the way that you officially phrase it. Coming out of Arkansas, there was actually a little bit of buzz for McTelvin Agim. There were some thoughts that he could find himself a spot and a rotation here along the defensive line. And again, along with any of these defensive linemen, he's going to have a chance. But I kind of raised the eyebrow. I did the old Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I can't do it like him. I did the old eyebrow raise when Nick Caserio just kind of brought up that McTelvin Agim's one of the players that has gotten better in the spring and has worked the hardest in the spring. And if you get a low-cost player like Agim to be a rotational piece, a depth piece along your defensive line, Or, hey, maybe he's a practice squad candidate and you kind of have him in the building, understanding what they expect out of the defensive lineman and defensive tackle room, and then he's there. Agim's got a chance to make this team. I wouldn't bet on him to make this team because there's guys who've played more football, a lot more football in the NFL ahead of him. But potential practice squad candidate, maybe the last guy on the roster, Agim's got a shot here. Let's see if we can get maybe one or two more recognizable names to jump into this list. Oh, this is a good one. This is a really good one. How about Noah Brown, the fourth wide receiver for the Texans? Or is he the fifth wide receiver for the Texans? I would tell you this. Noah Brown's on this team if he's healthy. Now, if for some reason he's not healthy and he finds himself again dealing with an injury here as training camp gets, ready to wrap up, maybe the Texans move on from him. But the connection that he had with CJ Stroud, the knowledge he has of the offense already, and the productive days that he had at the wide receiver spot, 153 and a touchdown, 172. He had 82 and a touchdown in Tennessee when Case Keenum was the quarterback. Like, Noah Brown had a really productive season for a guy that you spent a couple $1 million on, and he's played a little bit of football, does some of the dirty work at the wide receiver spot. And as a fourth wide receiver, fifth wide receiver, he's pretty well cast. I mean, you look around the league and you think about fourth wide receiver, fifth wide receiver type guys. Noah Brown has a productive year under his belt with the Texans. That's way better than a lot of the productivity breakouts that you would have for some of the fourth, fifth wide receivers around the league. He's the fourth wide receiver if he ends up better than John Mechie. If Mechie ends up better than him, then he's the fifth wide receiver. Maybe he's got a little special teams usefulness to him. I don't remember him playing a ton last year on special teams for the Texans, but he obviously broke into the league playing some special teams with the Cowboys, doing some of the dirty work. Noah Brown is a fascinating player. If healthy, he adds a whole nother depth dimension to that wide receiver room, which already features Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stefon Diggs, could feature the best version of John Mechie to this point, and then Noah Brown, and then whoever that sixth wide receiver is. The Texans like to rotate guys, keep guys fresh. They like to trust their guys down the depth chart at the wide receiver spot. Noah Brown, certainly with the year that he had last year, showcased that he is a trustworthy player for the Houston Texans. And man, he could be a very exciting depth piece, a very exciting backup player for the Houston Texans this year. The highlights will be primarily in the hands of Diggs and Dell and Collins, but a nice, 337 touchdown game from Noah Brown every now and then as the fourth, fifth wide receiver. Where do I sign? Sign me up for that. He could be a very, very fun and one of the better backup players at his depth chart spot across the National Football League for the Houston Texans. What say you? What do you make of some of these backups that we've talked about? You think they're making the roster like Delshon Phillips and McTelvin, Agim? Or you think they're going to be big-time contributors on the depth chart like Noah Brown and Dameon Pierce? Let me know in the comment section down below. On your way down there, throw me a thumbs up on the video. It helps the channel get in front of other Texans fans just like you. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss any great Texans content. And on your way down to that thumbs up and the subscription in the comment section, hit the description and learn a little bit more about Platinum AC and Heating. My guy Dwyane is a Texans fan just like you. He's 5-star rated on the Better Business Bureau, Google, and Yelp for the work that he does with Platinum AC and Heating. That's right. They have the best service in town. They have the best prices in town. They have the best reviews in town, all because they are the best when you need anything for your AC. Platinum AC and Heating brings it your way. Give them a call today, 832-777-3683. 832-777-3683 is the number. Put that number in your phone, because my guy Dwyane is not letting you sit in a hot house. He'll come out there, get it fixed up. You'll be chilling before you know it. If football is all you're here for, then this video is over. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait till we talk Texans again soon. But if you love the food reviews, well, here you go. All right, food review time. Panda Express has a new hot orange chicken. Now, I got to be honest with you. This is not really in my wheelhouse. I don't usually get the orange chicken. I get the sweet fire chicken and I get the Beijing beef. But for this one, I got the spicy orange chicken and the regular orange chicken. And the only difference that you really see is the spicy. I can get it in there for you. It's got a couple of just chili flakes on it. Okay. Just a couple of chili flakes on it. That's the only difference. I got some regular orange chicken to give it the old taste test. Let's see how the spicy goes. Okay, okay. That's definitely hot. That's definitely hotter than the regular. It's got the same kind of heat that maybe the Beijing beef has a little bit. It's not an immediate heat. It's kind of like a constant heat that sticks on there. Let's go with the regular orange chicken to give it a little balance. Okay. The regular orange chicken is definitely sweet compared to the hot one. Let me give the hot one more bite there after having the regular orange chicken. Well, this one's got a lot of chili flakes on it. Oh, boy. It seems to me that maybe the only difference is that chili flake that's on there. And it gives you a nice constant heat. It doesn't blow you up. It's not the spiciest thing I've ever had. It's pretty spicy for Panda Express food, but it's pretty decent. Again, orange chicken not really in my rotation, so it's going to come in a little bit lower. If you like spicy stuff, certainly if you like just a little bit more spice to your items, this is going to be worth it. I'm going to check this one in at like a 6.4. It's worth a one-off. I don't know that I'd get it again. I don't know that I'd want to constantly get it. And if it sticks around as a full-time menu item, it might be wasting space there on the line that could do something different with it. The cost, nothing changes really. I just got it my normal plate. 2 entrees and a side. Got the chow mein, of course. They had to wait for the chow mein. The guy just scooped a monster scoop in there. Loved him for that. Appreciated that. But yeah, so pretty low score, pretty average score. Worth a one-off. And if you like spicy stuff, if you like the orange chicken and you like spicy stuff, then it's definitely got to try for you. But that's where we are on Panda Express's hot orange chicken.